Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Antoine. Antoine is the French form of the Old Roman family name Antonius from the gens Antonia. The Antonius clan name is of uncertain origin, probably originated from the ancient Etruscan civilization in Italy near modern-day Tuscany, whose language is now extinct. The family name was shared by both the patrician and plebeian classes, and most famously borne by Mark Antony, Marcus Antonius, 83 BC-30 BC. Apparently Mark Antony invented a mythological person named Anton, son of Hercules, from whom he claimed descent, most likely in an effort to establish his own greatness. After Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, Antony joined together with Octavian and Lepidus to form the Second Triumvirate. This political alliance would later collapse when Octavian defeated Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium, 31 BC. Shortly thereafter Antony and Cleopatra committed suicide, see literary references below. In terms of the name Antonius, not much else is known about its origin. The English th was added later as some erroneous attempt to associate the name with the Greek word anthos, flower, or anthropos, man. Different variations of the name came into circulation throughout Europe starting in the post-classical era, mostly thanks to an early Egyptian saint, 3rd to 4th century, known as Saint Antony the Great, the father of all monks. St. Antony's life was memorialized by a Greek biographer shortly after his death, a written work which maintained widespread appeal throughout Europe up through the Middle Ages. St. Antony was not the first monk, as he's often credited for being, but he was the first to live as a hermit for more than a decade deep in the deserts, completely cut off from civilization. He was greatly admired for his ascetic life and religious discipline, apparently St. Antony successfully endured and overcame through prayer all sorts of supernatural temptations flung at him by the devil. Needless to say, St. Antony was one of the most revered saints in medieval Europe, and his name was often bestowed on children as a protective measure. St. Antony is also the patron saint against infectious diseases, which were rampant in the Middle Ages, particularly skin diseases that are still referred to as St. Anthony's fire, example, shingles. Folks prayed to him for relief. His feast day is January 17th. Due to the popularity of this name for over 2,000 years, several linguistic forms have endured into the modern era. Anthony/Antony, English, Anton, Scandinavian and Slavic, Antonio, Italian and Spanish, Antoine, African American, and, last but not least, Antoine, French. Antoinette is the French female equivalent. Personality of the boy name Antoine. Romance is the hallmark of the sixth personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. Sixes are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. Sixes are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the boy named Antoine. Let's face it. Antoine is a pretty French name. When we look at the graph and see light usage in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, we can safely conjecture it was used primarily among French immigrants, never a huge portion of the United States' overall population. Antoine completely disappeared from the American male naming charts for 45 straight years, 1912 to 1956. This lengthy hiatus was put to an end in 1957 when he finally reappeared on the charts. Antoine's peak popularity was experienced in the second half of the 1970s up on through most of the 1980s. It seems we can thank the African American community for rediscovering this French gem. During the late 70s and early 80s, Antoine was often a top 100 name choice for black baby boys in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Delaware. Around the same time, a new phonetically altered rendering of the name, Antoine, was invented by African Americans. Alas, though, both Antoine and Antoine are losing favor now that we've entered the 21st century. In fact, Antoine recently fell off the naming charts altogether, and Antoine is barely given to 200 baby boys per year today. However, we have confidence this is a name which will return to its former days of glory in America. It's still a top 30 favorite boy's name in France. One last little bit of trivia regarding Antoine: it's the birth name of iconic musician Fats Domino, b. 1928 as Antoine Dominique Domino Jr., who was of French Creole descent. Quick facts on Antoine. Gender, boy. Origin, French. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, 944. Pronunciation, Antoine. Simple meaning, uncertain. Characteristics of Antoine: loving, sensitive, compassionate, family-oriented, community-minded, humanitarian, affectionate. Cultural references to the baby name Antoine. Famous people named Antoine: Antoine Caisson, American football player; Antoine Harris, American football player; Antoine Watteau, French painter; Antoine Lavoisier, French chemist; Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, French author and aviator; Antoine Bourdelle, French sculptor; Antoine Carr, American basketball player; Antoine of Navarre, French royalty; Antoine Caldwell, American football player; Antoine Domino, aka Fats Domino, American musician; Antoine Walker, American basketball player; Antoine Laurent de Jussieu, French botanist.